If you are new here, I am Jessie. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you all how to fill out an Abeka Academy Progress Report. At first, filling out the progress report might seem a bit overwhelming, but as you become familiar with the process, it will become a lot easier. Halfway through, it's the end of the second quarter, and I can't believe how quickly this year has gone by. Now this is my second time around doing this. I have to say the first time I did it, I was a bit overwhelmed just because I was so nervous about it. I wanted to make sure I had everything right, and I did make a couple of mistakes that very first time. Like, for example, he was supposed to have a science grade for his homework, and I just put a check mark. I didn't really think about giving it a grade. Then I received an email from the school asking me for the grades for that particular lesson so that they could process his grades. So anytime there's a little line, put a grade on it, don't put a check mark. But now that we're at the halfway point, those of you who are homeschooling out there, you got this. You have made it successfully halfway through the year. Yes, it has been challenging. There's been a lot of new things that we've all had to learn, but we're here and we're already halfway there. So I really want to encourage you and your family to continue pressing on. You got this. Here in our family, we did experience the whole homeschool burnout thing. To us, what really kept us, like when we reached that moment, because there was so many things going on this year, as some of you already know, a lot of challenges. One thing that really has helped us is keeping in mind, why did we choose to homeschool? We chose to homeschool because we really felt a conviction to instill our values in our children. We wanted to be able to teach our kids our faith, to teach our kids our morals, our values. And you know, that's something that a parent has to do. So for us, holding on to the reason why is it that we chose to do this has really helped us through. So let's get to the nitty gritty and start filling out this progress report. You have to fill in all your demographics up here and the date that you're sending it in, along with your phone number. You are also going to need your account number and your student number. You can actually find these two numbers online on their website where you initially enrolled your children. Then you're going to see here that it just gives you some guidelines of the things that you need to have when sending in this particular report. The only thing you really need to attach to it is all of your tests. You really don't need to send in your book report or your quizzes. So it tells you all the lessons that were covered in this particular quarter. And you can see over here, they pretty much all end in the 80s except for arithmetic and Bible. You take whatever is the grade that the student received in their test or their quiz and you place it in here. I put the numeric value in here. So I just go in and I put whatever was the score that he got on all of this. And in this particular quarter, we also had to do a book report on a book of his choice. So that's going to be filled in as well. All you pretty much have to do here is put check marks on these because this is pretty much graded by them. And you do the same thing over here. You put the numeric grade on these lines. We do have to call in and do a little recording of his oral reading. My son gets very anxious. So when I first tried to do the call-in for his oral reading, he was panicking and he just didn't want to do it. So I gave him the option. I'm like, how about if I just record you on my cell phone? Just, you know, the audio recorder. Like, it's nobody on the phone. You don't have to worry. You can take a breather if you need to. We can start over if you get too worried about it or too worked up. And that just calmed him so much. So this time around, we just did the same thing. I go on my iPhone and I do an audio recording. I turn the phone down so he's not even looking at it. That's not even in his mind. Start over here, I'll tell you when to stop. And then he does it. And he is calm about it. He's not panicking. The anxiety goes down for him. It's just the way he works. It's his personality. So once I have my two recordings, because I'll record him whenever the lesson is that he has to do the reading, I submit the recordings to Abeka when I fill out the progress report. They didn't tell me that I couldn't do that at the beginning, so that's what I kept on doing. So when it's time for me to do the recording, I already have the two recordings on my cell phone. All I do is dial up Abeka by myself without Noah having to be self-conscious or listening to himself read. I put the recording there and that's it. That's a tip if you have a child that's very self-conscious or very anxious about these things. That is one way that you could do it as well. This one is done by you. The number that you call is typically over here. And then at the end, you have to pretty much sign that the student has completed everything and that they've pretty much watched all the lessons. One thing I do recommend is this whiteout thing right here. This thing is amazing. Very good. Since I put this in the wrong one, all I simply am gonna do is white that out. Put 97 over here, and then put this one. Let's say I'm done filling out my math one. Let's do language next. So when I go to language, I go to all my language tests and quizzes. I already have a section for that, and they're all here, right there. I don't have to go scavenging, looking, rearranging. No, everything is right here. So I simply put language, what does it say? Test 4. So language test 4, and so on and so forth. Something that I pretty much connected the dots in is that this thing right here, this paper, is pretty much your grade book. This is it. So if you are living in a state that is very highly regulated like I am, we live in Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania is one of the states that has the highest regulations for homeschooling. PA requires us to have an evaluation at the end of the year as well as a portfolio. So I personally am keeping this as evidence of his grades. This is pretty much like the grade book, as well as I'm keeping a copy of all his tests and quizzes that he has completed to include in his portfolio. Once I'm done writing in all of the scores into the progress report, I then take out all of the tests and quizzes from the binder and sort them into 2 different piles. I take all the quizzes and put them to one side, and then I take all the tests and place them on another side, since that's the only thing that I'm going to be mailing in. So before I ship those off, I make copies of all of them. It's like a backup plan. I don't always trust the mail 100% because me personally, I've received other people's mail and other people have received my mail in the neighborhood. So what happens if all those tests and quizzes, poof, disappear? We're pretty much gonna be going around like crazy. In case that happens, this is almost like an insurance plan for me to make sure that all this quarter's evidence of work is saved. And there we go, we are done. Next step is to take this big guy over to the post office. That is the process that we go through when filling out our progress report. I hope that you have found this beneficial and helpful. If you have any tips or ideas or strategies on how you do your progress report, please go ahead and let me know on the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I want to learn from you. I want to hear what different people are doing, just because we're all in this together and learning from one another is just the best way. We can help one another. And if you think of any videos that you would like me to make in reference to homeschooling, or in particular with Abeka, go ahead and let me know and I will try my best to do that. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.